Hey guys, so Pete Eyre from Liberty on Tour made an interesting blog post not too long ago. In fact, I've linked to it below here. And basically, he talked about how he handled a situation where a friend owed him money. So he made a loan to a friend, and for whatever reason, that guy would not pay it back or couldn't pay it back or whatever. And Pete had tried a variety of ways to get his money back. He talked to him and texted him and emailed him. And the guy admitted that he owed him the debt. He just wasn't paying it. And now Pete had a couple of options. He could have gone and beat the guy up. He's a big enough guy where he probably could have. He could have gone to the police. He could have taken the guy to court. He could have done a bunch of things. But he didn't do any of that. He instead wrote a blog post. And he basically laid on the line what the guy owed him and that he wasn't paying him. And he updated that blog post every month. And within a couple of months, the guy paid him in full. They met, the guy paid him, bought him a beer, and they shook hands, and they're still friends. Now, let's contrast that to the way Pete could have handled it, and the way I think that a lot of libertarians even would have handled it. They would have tried to get the guy to pay them, and the dialogue would have gotten more and more aggressive. And I don't think most libertarians would have beat the guy up, but within a short amount of time, if it was enough money, they would have gone to the courts and sued the guy, costing him probably much more than what the debt was originally. And costing, of course, their friendship in the process. There's no way that you're going to cost somebody a couple of $1,000s above what they owe you and maintain a friendship. But Pete's solution was a win-win. Pete got his money back. His friend felt vindicated. His reputation was restored. And they've remained friends. And that's why I say I think a lot of libertarians could do well to remember how Pete handled that. Because we don't, we all preach that we don't want the state in our private affairs. We talk about the state has no issue or no real place in a private, peaceful transaction. And yet when bad things happen to us, when we're owed money or when we're harmed in some way, the very first thing we do is we run to the police or we run to the courts. And we try to get some kind of remediation for that. And I think that Pete shows that you don't have to do that. His way of handling it was peaceful. It was non-aggressive, and they both ended up being friends in the end. And that's ultimately the best solution to a problem, and that's the most libertarian solution. And so I urge you guys to read the post, and next time somebody owes you money or next time you're harmed, think about a way that you could handle it and that you could resolve it without involving the state. Don't run to the police. Don't run to the courts. Think about ways outside of the system that you can resolve it, because most situations can be resolved without having to resort to legal coercion at the point of a gun. So, I think Pete handled it right. I think he handled it very well, and I applaud the guy. The guy's name's Kevin. I applaud him for being a stand-up guy and actually making good on his debt. But he didn't have to. A lot of times people just say screw it, and they don't do it. And I think that Kevin did the right thing, Pete did the right thing, and it's a lesson for us all. So next time somebody screws you over or is threatening to screw you over, think about that and think about ways you can handle it without involving the system itself, because ultimately we have to practice what we preach. We need to, if we really believe the state has virtually no jurisdiction in our private affairs, then we can't really pick and choose. We can't say, well, it's no jurisdiction as long as somebody doesn't harm us, or no jurisdiction until money's involved. We have to find ways. The only way we're going to get to a libertarian society is if we find ways to exclude the state from our private lives, and that's just one way. That's one way of doing it in the legal way, and it kept him a friend. So that's pretty cool. Just remember that next time you face a situation.